In 1927, Henry Ford, the renowned American industrialist and founder of the Ford Motor Company, initiated an ambitious project deep within the Amazon rainforest. This endeavor, christened Fordlandia, was envisioned as both a rubber plantation to supply Ford's automobile empire and an idealized community embodying Ford's vision of what modern society should look like. Ford's motivations for establishing Fordlandia were twofold. Primarily, he sought to disrupt the British monopoly on rubber production, which was predominantly centered in Southeast Asia at the time. The escalating cost of rubber was inflating expenses on his latest Model A automobiles, and Ford believed that cultivating rubber in the Amazon, the native habitat of the rubber trees, would provide a more economical source. Additionally, Ford saw this as an opportunity to expand his influence beyond the confines of his factories and create a model community that reflected his societal ideals. This aspiration was not unprecedented for Ford, as he had attempted similar ventures, including an unsuccessful project in Alabama. In 1928, Ford negotiated with the Brazilian government for 2.5 million acres along a tributary of the Amazon River. This vast expanse, larger than the size of Delaware, cost Ford only $125,000, even a modest sum in those days. The location was chosen carefully, but its remote setting presented significant logistical challenges. Despite these obstacles, Ford's team started construction of the modern town, replete with American-style amenities. Fordlandia was designed to be a microcosm of American life transported into the Amazon. The settlement boasted a state-of-the-art hospital, educational institutions, a power plant, indoor plumbing, manicured lawns, white picket fences, a golf course, hotels, sawmills, fire hydrants, and just about everything else that you would see in a small city in the late 1920s in America. From its inception, Fordlandia encountered numerous challenges, many stemming from cultural misunderstandings and Ford's attempt to impose American values and work practices on the local Brazilian workforce. Ford insisted on serving American-style cuisine in the cafeteria, including whole wheat bread, oatmeal, and canned peaches. This unfamiliar diet was met with resistance from the workers. In accordance with Ford's personal convictions, alcohol was prohibited in Fordlandia. This policy was largely disregarded, with workers frequently patronizing illicit bars dubbed Islands of Innocence just beyond the town's boundaries. Ford's managers attempted to implement a typical American work schedule, including midday shifts. These proved impractical, however, due to the intense heat and humidity of the Amazon, leading to widespread discontent. The American-style housing, while modern, was ill-suited for the tropical climate. This and other cultural clashes culminated in a 1930 revolt known as the Breaking Pans Revolt. Workers, frustrated with the diet and the rules imposed on them, instigated a riot in the town's cafeteria. The rebellion escalated to the point where the American managers were forced to flee into the jungle, and the Brazilian army had to intervene to restore order. While the social experiment of Fordlandia was floundering, its primary purpose, rubber cultivation, was faring even worse. None of Ford's managers possessed the necessary expertise in tropical agriculture, leading to a series of ecological missteps. In their natural state, rubber trees grow dispersed to protect against disease and pests. In Fordlandia, looking for maximum efficiency, they were planted in close proximity in rows, rendering them vulnerable to infestation and disease. The plantation were ravaged by all kinds of problems, including leaf blight, ants, lacebugs, red spiders, and leaf caterpillars. Moreover, the terrain for Fordlandia was hilly, rocky, and infertile, unsuitable for large-scale rubber cultivation. Despite these setbacks, Ford pushed on. In 1934, the company established a second plantation called Belterra, approximately 100 kilometers from Fordlandia, on flatter land with superior soil. However, this venture also struggled to produce rubber in economically viable quantities. By the early 1940s, it was evident that Fordlandia was a failure. The advent of synthetic rubber during World War II further diminished the project's economic rationale. In 1945, Henry Ford's grandson, Henry Ford II, commissioned a review of the company's global operations. The report concluded that Fordlandia had cost the company $20 million, equivalent to over $300 million in today's money, without producing any rubber for Ford's automobiles. In 1945, with Henry Ford's health deteriorating, the company decided to cut its losses. Fordlandia and Belterra were sold back to the Brazilian government for $244,200, just a fraction of the total investment. Despite its failure, Fordlandia has left an indelible imprint on both the local area and popular culture. The town has experienced a modest resurgence in recent years, with a slight increase in population driven by economic factors rather than its historical significance. Fordlandia has inspired numerous artistic works, including literature, music, and films. Fordlandia stands as a fascinating chapter in the history of American industrialism and its brief encounter with the Amazon rainforest. It exemplifies the hubris of trying to transplant one society's model wholesale into a vastly different culture and ecological context. While the project failed in its primary objectives, it left behind a complex legacy that continues to captivate historians, artists, and the public imagination. It also shows the importance of taking risks. The reason why Henry Ford was such a great industrialist wasn't because he never made a mistake. It was because he kept trying different things, and more often than not, he was successful. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. You got more videos like this coming out in the next few weeks. Shooting for releasing one every weekend, so sometime between Friday and Sunday. Hit the notification bell so you see when they come out, and thanks for watching.